morning, my fellow writers and people who wish to learn how to write. This morning, we are going to talk about the joys of world building in fiction novels. Now, as you may or may not know, you can create a world much like the one we live in today, or exactly like it, with your own fictional twist with your fictional characters. Or you can create an entirely new world that is based on Earth or really anywhere. So we're going to talk about how that can bring you joy and elevate your fiction storytelling. So let's go on. World building is one of the most exhilarating aspects of writing fiction. For many authors, it's not just a means to an end, it's a creative adventure that can be just as fun and immersive as the story itself. Whether you're sketching out a magical kingdom in a fantasy epic or constructing the socio-political systems of a futuristic dystopia, building a world offers a canvas that's as expansive as your imagination. World building is more than just the setting. So it's more than just where the story takes place. At its heart, world building goes beyond landscapes and architecture. It's the development of cultures, belief systems, histories, language, economies, governments, and even myths and daily customs. These elements add depth and realism to a story, inviting readers to suspend disbelief and fully immerse themselves in a world that feels alive. Your world, the world you create for your fiction story. The one I created for the little bitey vampire. When done well, world building becomes a story's unspoken backbone. Think of Tolkien's Middle-earth, with its rich elvish languages and millennia of recorded history. Or consider the eerie precision of Orwell's Oceania in 1984, where language itself is weaponized. We have a little bit of that going on these days, don't we? So fiction worlds like these linger in our minds not only because of the plots that unfold within them, but because they feel like places we could visit or escape to, or God forbid if we were trapped in one, escape from it. No! I'm running. For example, let me give you an example of a paragraph you might start off with to help you build your world, or an example beginning paragraph for world building. The city of Vareth stretched along the black glass coast, not to be confused with the Gold Coast. After all, that would cause you to envision shiny buildings and sleek sports cars. Vareth, by contrast, was known for its spiral-shaped buildings. They resembled conch shells. The design was believed to honor their sea god, who, according to legend, drowned the old world in salt water, to punish the arrogant and greedy. Every black and blue glass building bore wave-carved prayer etchings, and at dawn, citizens paused their own routines to face the water and whisper their fears into the wind, trusting that the sea god would hear them and refrain from carrying them away with the tides. In fact, due to the previous destruction status, statuses in Vareth weren't measured in gold, but in tide glass tokens, earned through acts of community service and preserved in public shrines. Children were taught to swim before they could walk, and those who refused the sea rights by the age of 13 were marked as driftless. Outcasts, banned from the city's sacred baths, and often forced into scavenger guilds. Scavenger guilds out there, folks, in the unknown, in the vast wilderness. You don't want to be there. Kale knew all of this well as he tightened his cloak and crossed the temple bridge. He also knew that the salt keepers would smell his hesitation and perhaps the guilt that he hadn't washed himself clean in years in the sacred baths. Instead, he'd been focused on other pursuits, but he couldn't speak of them yet. He just had to trust that the keepers would let him in for a cleansing bath. Will he get his bath or won't he get his bath? Well, that's for me and you to decide if we choose to continue this story. But in this world-building adventure, you're in a dystopian world. It's been mirrored off the Gold Coast except backwards. And kind of backwards in history too, because we're talking about public baths and a religion that believes in multiple gods. And for this one, they believe specifically their high god is the sea god, probably because they're right next to the ocean. So anyway, we've discovered all that in those first few paragraphs. Isn't that fascinating? And you can do the same thing in your world building, and you can take it a step further. You can keep going and building it deeper and deeper and deeper. So, obviously, you can expand your creative freedom by creating your own world. So, one of the pure joys of world building is the absolute creative freedom that it offers. There are no rules except the ones that the author invents. That's you. As the author of your very own world, you can create and flesh out floating islands that are powered by ancient crystals, societies that live in eternal twilight, or cities that remember every lie ever told within their walls. And you can draw inspiration from anywhere. History, science, mythology, a weird dream you had last night. This is a space where logic and imagination form a delicate and exhilarating dance and balance. You can do whatever you want here, folks. It's like Bob Ross. There are no accidents, only, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. There it is. So you could create something really crazy. And here's the deal. I've written stuff before and then gone back to edit it and been like, where was I when this was written? I don't remember writing this. This is way better than I could ever do. But those are the moments that make writing worthwhile. When you read something, you're like, I was brilliant. I was brilliant when I wrote that. And you can do that with world building. In fact, it'll help you make more of those brilliant author realizations when you write something so fantastic that you're like, I can't believe I wrote that. So anyway, world building is a tool for storytelling. World building is a tool that strengthens character, motivation, conflict, and or theme. A society's rules can help define a protagonist's rebellion. A planet's scarcity of resources, like in The Tiny Body Vampire, can fuel a space opera's political drama. Even small details, a local proverb, a minor holiday, a favorite drink, can enrich a scene and reveal hidden layers about characters and their values. Just think about how Star Trek does alcohol. The ship itself does not have any alcoholic beverages, but they can pick up real alcoholic beverages on any planet they visit, and they often do. And some of those alcoholic beverages are quite weird, like the green whiskey. So, most importantly, world building also offers a mirror. Fictional worlds let us explore real-world ideas in new contexts. We can confront injustice, explore identity, examine power structures, or celebrate community through entirely invented lenses. This distance can create room for nuance and clarity that might be harder to achieve in realistic settings. In other words, once you create your world, you can explore topics that would be very hard to explore if you had a completely Earth-like, modern city-like view. So it allows you a little bit more freedom when you create your own world to do something different. And world building gives the reader a reward. For readers, a well-built world is an invitation. It allows them to step into the unfamiliar and navigate it with wonder. Good world building fosters curiosity. It makes a reader want to learn more, to flip the map or turn the page. And to be honest, some authors really do create their own maps. Once you flesh out your world, or before you flesh out your world, you can create your own map. And I've seen authors do it. They'll draw them out on a piece of paper. They'll draw it out, or they'll do it on the computer, or they'll load a world building map program. I think that's what I saw last time I saw somebody do this. And I don't know of any. Maybe we could explore it. Let's see. Let's see what's out there. I don't know what's out there to create maps or build worlds, so let's find out. Top 10 best word building tools. Campfire, comprehensive word building tools for fiction authors. Let's try this one. Bring your world to life. Populate your world. What is... Stop that. I hate those pop-ups, and my website's going to have one shortly, too, and I can't stand them. All right, so... The histories of your world's people are waiting to be told. Build richly detailed communities. Yin... Yeah, good luck pronouncing that. But here's this one. Oh, this might just be this piece of software. Oh, this is this piece of software. Campfire Writing. Writing.com is what it is. And I guess they have their own software. This said world building tools for fiction writers, but what they really mean is world building tool, singular, one, theirs. All right. So, right. Interactive map maker, there we go. Create your first map. Well, I'm not going to do that. So anyway, in order to use this software, you have to sign up for their stuff before you can even test it. I'm not doing that. But there's one of them, campfirewriting.com. Top 10. Let's try this one. What? Google Drive. Okay, I don't get it. There must be being extra creative right here. World Anvil, Fantasia Archive, Campfire Writing, which is where we just were. That doesn't make any sense. Chronographer, Obsidian, Notion, Kenka, Legend Keeper, and Joining the Writing Frontier. And somebody's copy and paste didn't do right. Google Drive. Google has organize your working documents. I wish you love. Okay, you can store your crap on Google Drive. Whoop-de-doo-dah. Like nobody knew that, dude. World Anvil. World Anvil is a great and versatile tool for world building, but it's a freemium option that you can use. Basically, there's a free version and a paid version. Free version is limited. So it's got a huge learning curve. If anything needs a video tutorial, it's got a big learning curve. All right. So World Anvil has a large learning curve. Right. Uh, what is this? Ooh. Do you see that? This is for World Anvil. So the documents that you create for your world, for your story, that crap is public on World Anvil. You may not like that one. Fantasia Archive. That's Canadian, but nope. That's high. And they want you to do it 12 months at a time. Yikes. Fantasia Archive. Fantasia Archive might be this particular individual's top choice. Benefits of a premium world building tool while being totally free and totally offline. Well, that one is free and downloadable. So let's see here. I'm all for anything that stores on your computer because that means they can't screw with you and they can't disconnect you. I always wonder why people pay for online games that they can't download. You know, they can turn that shit off at any time, and they have. Fantasia Archive, the free offline world building tool. Download, backup download. Okay. Well, I don't like it. I don't like it. Here's why I don't like it. There's nothing here except this splash page. It says fantasiaarchive.com, but there's nothing here. There's no menu. There's no nothing. There's nothing at the bottom. There's no contact information. There's no TOS. There's nothing. And when you download it, you go to cartographyassets.com, assets 10089 /Fantasia Archive. They've got a backup download on GitHub, and they've got Discord, Patreon, and Ko-Fi channels, but there's nothing here explaining it. I would never download this because there's nothing here. And the download goes to a link that isn't here. So I would never do that. By contrast, let me show you what I mean here. So this is another piece of writing software right here. My nose is driving me nuts. So download. When you download Bibisco, it's downloaded from Bibisco. Okay? It's bibisco.com, novel writing software. Download Bibisco. So this I've downloaded before and I've used it. Actually, there's some world building stuff in here too. So, all right. No chance would I download Fantasia. Campfire writing, we just did that, and you can't get in without a login. Really? He's grasping at straws here, folks. OneNote. OneNote is Notepad. It's a notepad. It's a very basic text editor. Chronographer is a Wikipedia thing. Oh, let's not. Obsidian. It's not necessarily for world building, which you can note taking again. Notion. Take notes, write your manuscript, create calendars. I'm not impressed with this guy's list. Kenka. Okay, tabletop RPGs and D&D. All right. Let's look at this. Okay, so it's Kenka.io, World Building Tool and RPG Campaign Manager. Features, pricing. Free. You got one premium campaign. What? Okay, looks like you cannot try it without signing up, but that might be something. Usually if it's good for an RPG, it's probably good for fiction too. Nothing is letting you try it without signing up. I'm not going to sign up. At least not during this video. Legend Keeper is another great tool that has a really in-depth wiki system so that you can use it to create Wikipedia-like entries about the features in your world. If you just want something like this, it's in Bibisco. Oh, but it's not free. Well, you might as well use Bibisco. Scrivener is not free. Scrivener also does not work on my computer. At least I don't believe it does, unless they've changed something. Let's look. I've heard people either love or hate Scrivener. Do they not have a real website anymore? I guess not. So, where is it? Well, it doesn't work on my computer. I've heard people either love it or hate it. I can't even find the download for it, so, alright. So anyway, there's your options. A lot of those were really terrible. I would say, if it were up to me, I would download Bibisco. I would check out that Campfire one, or I would check out that Kenka. The rest of them just, the dude was grasping at straws. It's like it becomes a shared secret between the author and the reader. This world doesn't exist, but for a while, it feels like it does to both the author and the reader. It's the secret place, I guess. The joy of the process. Writers often find that the act of world building itself is therapeutic. It's meditative, playful, and empowering. It offers control over a universe, something that is rarely available in real life. It allows you to become a historian, cartographer, anthropologist, and a god. Hey. And whether you're keeping meticulous notebooks or following a loose dreamscape, there's deep joy in watching your imagined world slowly take shape. layer by layer. Actually, now that I'm thinking about this, I can show you something that you can use to create your world. This is Synfig Studio. And what you're going to do is you're going to make your map, right? This has a little bit of a learning curve to it. I would say 2 weeks of daily usage and you'll get the hang of it. But you can create your world with Synfig Studio, right? So there's my square. And I have to go back over to the arrow if I want to manipulate my square. So I can pull the sides out if I grab the edges, and I can make it as big as I want. So here's my map, and we can make it a mappy color. Well, or not. It's kind of being obnoxious. It takes a minute to get it to work. There we go. So there's your little mappy color, and this has got, the region is not quite, there it is. So there we go. So there's your little mappy region, and you can, take these circles and, do stuff like that. Maybe there's mountains and squares and houses and whatever. There's also a text tool somewhere. I thought there was. Oh, here it is. You can do stuff like that. So if you get real good at Synfig Studio, you could create a map using that. It's been a while since I've used it, so I'm a little rusty. But anyway, you might do this or some other graphics program like GIMP or whatever you're good at, whatever image creation software that you're good at. Anyway, no, I don't want to save it. Yeah, so you can make your world take shape layer by layer. In conclusion, world building is more than an element of craft. It's an art form. It's a love letter to your imagination and your reader's imagination. A challenge to creativity. It can challenge your creative process or expand your creative process, especially if you use a graphics program or one of these other pieces of software that I was showing on the computer. And you'll have to test them yourself. I've never used any of those pieces of software, except Bibisco and obviously Synfig Studio, but the rest of them I have not used. And world building can give you a foundation for unforgettable stories. Here's the deal. If you create a world, you could create various different stories for that world. Just think of Castle Rock, isn't it? Is it Castle Rock in the Stephen King stories? He uses that place in like every story. It's his city. It's his world. And he puts like every story there. And for fiction writers, especially those drawn to speculative genres, world building is not just a means to tell a story, it is part of the story. And for readers, the result is a door to another reality, which is the goal. We're trying to take people out of this horrible reality that we exist in to some place that is better, that can help them forget their troubles, or at least immerse themselves in someone else's troubles. And for a little while, your world, the author's world, feels like home to your readers. And that's the goal, and that's why you should work on your world building. Anyway, folks, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something insightful about world building. if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, there's a GoFundMe link and a Buy Me a Coffee link down in the description. I don't care which one you use. You can use either one of them or none of them and move on. That's cool. Anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.